So now that we've discussed what an epic poem is going to look like, now we're going to discuss the idea of an epic hero and how Beowulf kind of fits into this model of an epic hero. The basic definition of an epic hero is someone, typically male, at least in very classical epics, that must undergo perilous adventures and meet with superhuman foes for the sake of a whole nation. So the key idea here are the superhuman foes. So it's not just, a normal run-of-the-mill bad guy. This is somebody who can do things, has powers that normal humans can't. And the idea that it's for the sake of a whole nation, that if the hero does not succeed, the world will end. Life will cease to exist as we know it. So some basic characteristics of the hero in an epic. The first is that they are of noble birth or very high position. So typically this means that they are royalty, a member of the aristocracy. In modern day epics, it's at least going to be somebody who might be very moral in their character, something that's going to set them apart in that way. He reflects the values important to his society. So if the society values bravery, the hero will be extremely brave. If the society values intelligence, he will be extremely quick-witted. His actions display courage, and he can perform superhuman deeds. So again, this idea that he can do things that no one else can. At one point in Beowulf is going to dive into a lake. It will take him 3 days to swim all the way to the bottom. He's going to fight a monster down there, and then it will take him 3 days to swim back to the surface. And of course, we know that that's not actually possible. There are often supernatural forces involved, so we will see things like monsters and dragons, or humans that have some connection with the supernatural, things like that. And the last is that the hero will go on a journey, and this journey consists of a departure, an adventure, and a return. So the departure is where he will leave his home and go on a quest. So he's off to find the treasure, or slay the dragon, or rescue the damsel in distress. The adventure, of course, is where the excitement occurs. So he will fight the dragon. He will, undergo a series of tasks to be able to find the treasure. And then when he returns to his home, he shares with his community what he's gained on his journey. And whether that be he shares the gold that he has found with the people of his community, or he becomes their king and is able to rule them with mercy and graciousness. But when he returns, he shares what he's learned. As far as the heroic values that we'll see in Beowulf, we'll certainly see this relationship between a king and his warriors. We'll see that certainly with Hrothgar and his people, but we'll also see that with Beowulf and his men, and the loyalty between them. The soldier will oftentimes pay homage to his thane, and we begin to see here the basic fundamentals of feudalism being formed. The king will reward his warriors with gifts, so he will thank them for their service. And then if a kinsman is slain, we'll see obligation to kill the slayer or obtain payment and compensation. So Grendel the monster comes in, kills Hrothgar's men. Hrothgar knows that to avenge their deaths, that Grendel must die as well. Okay, so we must avenge the deaths of comrades. There are quite a few epic heroes that you are familiar with, even though you may not be aware of it. If we look at the story of Jesus Christ and his journey throughout the New Testament, there are a lot of similarities to the idea of a hero. If anybody likes Lord of the Rings, Frodo Baggins is certainly an epic hero. When you think about kind of the journey that he takes, we see that. Luke Skywalker in the original Star Wars movies certainly is. Harry Potter is certainly an epic hero. When you think about the superhuman forces that are against him, we can see that. Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games is a very modern epic hero. She doesn't fall into all of the categories, but she's probably the closest one that we've got. And then, we can even see epic heroes in children's movies, or at least I can because I'm an English nerd, but I also have small children. So Simba from The Lion King and Lightning McQueen, they are all epic heroes as well. And if you are familiar with Cars or The Lion King, maybe we can discuss that in class about how they are epic heroes.